So I think what's different now is that we have data, and so we don't need ideology so much. It's spurious if you actually have the data to go to. And so the questions are, what is the association? And there are different ways of testing it. What is the relationship between income growth and reduction of non-monetary indicators or of a multidimensional poverty index? And earlier we might have answered that according to our particular hypothesis of how income growth should have mattered. But with all of the microdata that we now have, we do the regressions, we analyze it. And we don't find a very strong relationship. And in some countries, as you said, there is not a relationship between the direction of income, because it's really how the growth is occurring, the distribution of growth among different people, and also how the growth is affecting the sectoral policies, perhaps financed by some of the increase in fiscal space, if the government is able to use that. So it's just a complex of interactions, but what we can say is that there's no magic. It's not that always there's growth and then there's strong MPI reduction, and some of those that reduce it the fastest don't grow or don't have growth in the preceding period or the current period. You play around with periods. And so I think that what we have decided to do is not therefore go to bat against growth. I mean, what's very clear is countries with high GDP or GNI don't have this kind of horrific poverty. So growth is certainly, in some ways, the right direction. But we've tried to find out, well, what are the additional actions? Not additional, but what are the actions that directly reduce multidimensional poverty? And it may be that growth is required to fund those policies if it's adequately channeled that way into public expenditure. But looking at different countries, and we're going to release quite soon a report, I like it. It's looking at some of the regions of Africa that have reduced poverty really fast. And Rwanda obviously reduced poverty the fastest of the countries in Africa. But you have this little region, Lekwaulu, in the Republic of the Congo. You wouldn't have expected it, but it had seismic reduction in multidimensional poverty. You have regions of Mauritania, of DRC, places that are usually thought of as failures. And yet somehow at that little local level, there's been a positive change. And I think it's really trying to learn from them, grasp them, highlight them, honor them. Hopefully will inspire others to unpack a little bit more what they can do in their spaces.